All right, shifting gears now. Kiss star Gene Simmons and his family are back with a new season of their reality show, Gene Simmons Family Jewels. Simmons and his girlfriend of 25 years, former playmate Shannon Tweed, are making the rounds to talk about it. Our executive producer, Mike DiGiorgio, is a huge Kiss fan, and he insisted he'd be the one to do this interview for us, so here they are.
I kind of blocked my other colleagues on doing this interview. I was too big a fan of the two of you to let anybody else do it. A big Kiss fan, and I've had posters of each of you on my wall at different times in my life.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Together? Were we facing each other?
I could dig them out and make that happen, maybe. That'd be cute. Gene, I want to start with you. I read your autobiography, and I remember reading the reverence with which you refer to your mother. And I know her history is playing a big role in the opening of the season. If you can tell us how this all came about.
The band, Kiss that is, has been on tour for about 2.5 years. We just recently got off tour. And when we stopped off in Amsterdam, we met a 13-year-old boy who was interested in doing an article on me. And on the 2 days off that we had after the concert in Amsterdam, he introduced us to the city. We went around, and while he was interviewing me, we met his grandfather, who was a survivor of the German Nazi concentration camps, and then invited us to go see the Anne Frank house. Now, for those of you that don't know, Anne Frank was a 13-year-old Jewish Dutch girl who, with her family, hid in the upper attic of the family's house, where they also lived and worked.
Of course.
Eventually, she's taken to a concentration camp and does not survive. The rest of the family is killed off, but her father, Otto Frank, survived. While they were there, Anne Frank wrote diaries every day, which resulted in a book, which is now mandatory reading in lots of schools, called The Diary of Anne Frank. I urge all of you to read it. So when we first went into the Anne Frank house, I was expecting sort of a historical lesson of the horrors of Nazi Germany and so on. And I will tell you that the impact it had on me emotionally was very, very high, because my mother was 14 years of age herself when she was hauled off to the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. My mother survived. The rest of our family did not. They did not survive. So for me, it was a very emotional experience. And my mother hardly ever talks about it. And so this 1-hour special starts off season 6 this Sunday night. But as Shannon will tell you, this is an exception.
It's not all depressing. It's an uplifting episode in the end. And so, and the lesson is to not only remember the past so we don't repeat it, but to pay attention to your parents, your grandparents. There are stories to tell and interesting histories to learn about, and we discovered a lot of that in Europe. And a few of our episodes take place in Europe during the tour. We've also visited Spain, and Nick went on tour with the band and learned that it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Being a rock star is a lot harder than he thought.
So we can assume there's some fun to be had this season.
Of course.
Yeah. Nicholas turns 21, goes to Las Vegas. I'm sure you can fill in all the blanks.
With me.
And he's in a band?
Nicholas actually was invited to audition for The Doors, the remaining members of the band, as lead singer. And there's
This is recently?
Yeah, this is recently. He was, he learned Break On Through to the Other Side and all the obvious Doors songs. But the age disparity between Robbie Krieger, the lead guitarist, and
well, he was obviously too inexperienced to tour at the moment, but he was so flattered to be able to audition, and sounds exactly like Jim Morrison. Naturally, he doesn't even have to try.
Sounds more like Jim Morrison than Gene Simmons.
So exciting.
I don't sound like anybody. I don't even.
Nick can actually really sing. It's awesome.
Yes, he can actually sing. I can't. I just make lots of noise.
That's not true.
But by the way, the Doors and Nicholas actually play together. They just did a charity event, and he gets up and does,
tremendous.
L.A. Woman and all that stuff.
And how Sophie?
We have a lot of fun this year. What else do we do?
How's Sophie?
Oh, Sophie's fantastic. She goes to college this year. So I'm an empty nester, and, of course, I have to get into trouble.
And the episode that Gene talks about with the Anne Frank house airs this Sunday night on A&E. More next as Gene and Shannon talk about their relationship, and Gene talks about Kiss with our executive producer, Mike DiGiorgio. And we now have the rest of our interview with Kiss's Gene Simmons and his longtime girlfriend, Shannon Tweed. The couple have been together for 25 years. They have 2 children. They've never been married. Our executive producer, Mike DiGiorgio, asked them about that.
Well, fans of the show know the two of you as a couple, and Gene's description of you as, I want to say it right, Gene, unhappily married or married unhappily.
Not unhappily.
I put the un in the wrong.
Unhappily?
I put the un in the wrong place. I put the un in the wrong place. I know the happy is definitely there, and the unmarried is there.
Right.
Happily unmarried.
Anything we can expect from this season in regards to that status?
If we tell you, we have to kill you.
Gene, I want to talk a little bit about Kiss merchandise if I can, and we can kind of help each other out here. This station I work for, within the last couple of months, just started broadcasting in high definition. And there is a Kiss product that could you could have a little synchronization, I think.
That's right. Just as a public service, we've decided to launch the Kiss high-def televisions, which are going to be available to everybody, 52 inches long. And I just okayed the new generation of Kiss caskets for those of you that are taking the last ride. I mean, we have an awful lot of fun. By the way, I'm deadly serious about this.
Oh, I've seen them. I have seen them.
No, the first generation sold out. This is a new generation because you see the audience never stops for that product.
Where's the logo go on a Kiss
all
casket?
over. You're surrounded by it. It's,
okay.
Photos and fans and
embraced by the band.
Embraced.
Is it like the solo albums where we can get 4 different ones? Or we can choose which one we might want.
You're very good.
You may have started something.
Not yet, but yes, that's a thought. Collect all 4, yes.
Gene, last year, Kiss were on the list of nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Didn't make it. This year, not even on the list. I wanted to get your take on that before I let you go.
Honestly, we appreciate anybody who even gives us the time of day, but after 100 million records and breaking box office records of the Beatles and Elvis and outselling them both in licensing and merchandising, we have no complaints.
You've sold more than the Velvet Underground or any of the other acts that are like that.
Not familiar with that name. But in either case, we're very grateful to the fans and everybody else. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a nice place, and if you're a rap star or a disco star, it would be a great place for you to be in, because some of them already are.
And new album anytime soon?
Yes, we are going to be doing a new record sometime. Right now, Paul's busy with his art, which is really going gangbusters. He's really happy doing that. Tommy, as a matter of fact, we just saw Tommy the other day. We went to see a band.
Steel Panther.
Steel Panther. We have a lot of fun. We're very fortunate and, obviously very grateful for the lifestyle that we have.
Sure. I appreciate the time from both of you. It's the new season of Gene Simmons Family Jewels on A&E. Thanks very much for your time, both of you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, take care.
It is, if you wonder who the man in the beard was.
He's a pro, that guy. We should hire him.
He is very good. That's our executive producer, Mike DiGiorgio, talking to Gene Simmons and Shannon Tweed. And as Mike said, the reason he wanted to do that is he's been a longtime fan of Kiss.
No better person to do that interview than Mike, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't know. Gene Simmons is one interesting guy. He's a very deep and intelligent guy.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They're all dichotomies. What they present on stage is not necessarily who they are off stage.
Yeah, very
it's an
interesting.
Act,
So.
and they're entertainers, truly, in the true sense of the word.
All right, your local headlines are coming up next. Marty's forecast as well. We'll get you caught up on what you might have missed overnight. Stay with us.